We have a very good mutual friend, Matt Patricia, that's up there now, Ohio State Buckeyes.
Yep.
Slightly well-known football program.
They were okay. They did well last year.
And they're making an impact.
We must love that dude if we're rooting for Ohio State.
Yeah.
As a Notre Dame guy.
I'm going to say right now that I love Matt Patricia so much that at one point in time I was actually cheering for the fucking Detroit Lions. That tells you everything right there.
That is
like I was like, never in my life did I think I would be like a Detroit Lion. I actually wore their swag because he was
you wore
there.
your hat on like this.
Yeah, and it was one of those that and that team they're doing pretty good right now.
And that stadium was for the when Matty was there, they had traditionally not done well. But the fans showed up. Yeah, they were in it all the time.
Die hard.
It was impressive. And it was a nice stadium, too.
Yeah, nice stadium, solid fans. And man, I did not know till we got up there their history. And I'm like, yeah, these guys need them. I hate to say it, last year when they were making a run, I have this thing. And I hate to say it with Brady and Belichick and Matty and all those guys gone. I don't know if Patriots are going to get back anytime soon.
Yeah.
We'll see. But I have this thing now when it comes to the Super Bowl is I want the team that's never got one. So when there's a playoff run going on and I see somebody in there that has never gotten a Lombardi, that's my team. So
yeah, well, I think it's a good one.
Yeah.
Speaking of Super Bowls, we've been to the 2 greatest Super Bowls of all time.
We've been to 3.
I didn't go to that one. They lost that one.
That's right.
We were deployed.
Oh, so it was your fault.
It was your fault. If I were there, they might have won.
No, we have been to the 2 greatest Super Bowls. Matter of fact, we could have thrown a freaking stone and hit Malcolm Butler when he made that interception.
Right in front of us.
Right in front of us.
Unbelievable. And then, that was definitely one of the highlights of you and I is being on the field.
Oh, yeah.
And celebrating with Matty and the boys.
Yeah, that's
amazing.
It was definitely there's a different thing to just going to a Super Bowl, but being allowed to be with the team.
Yeah.
Go to their team party, be part of the event, be on the field when they're getting the Lombardi. That was...
I remember going to the hotel afterwards because we were at the team hotel.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, man, I feel like there should be more people here. And we're standing out and grabbing a drink from the bar and like the foyer there. And like, no, you got to go in a conference room. We walk in the conference room.
And we're like, holy
it was Gronk is on stage with no shirt with somebody was rapping and then Pitbull comes out. And I'm like, I don't listen to Pitbull, but I can't stop moving. And it was just... that was unbelievable. Yeah.
So something pretty cool about that. I wondered why when we went to Houston and we'll talk about the Falcons one here next.
Yeah.
But do you know that was the last Super Bowl that the teams were running their party?
There was a significant difference.
What a difference when the NFL took the Super Bowl parties over, how corporate it got.
Yeah.
Because anybody could buy a ticket. When we were at the Seattle, New England everybody there was somehow a guest of the Patriots.
Team. Correct.
So
and in the party, like the bands were picked by the NFL. I think it was, and nothing against Old Dominion and John Legend, I think is who played, right?
Yeah,
and
but
it's a big difference from when you're trying to celebrate, right?
There were people in the party that didn't have any connection with the Patriots.
Bought a ticket.
They just bought a ticket.
So nobody came out.
Yeah.
Like the first one, the team was out there, maybe not.
Yeah.
We saw Bill and Matty later, but all the players were out there dancing. Rick Ross was on stage and they're all dancing with Rick Ross. Yeah. And the other one, nobody wanted to come out because they didn't know who the hell was out there.
And it's corporate.
It was super corporate. I think Kraft came out and spoke towards the end, but we were sitting there waiting.
After that experience, when we went to, unfortunately, the one we lost against the Eagles, which was still a fucking amazing game.
Yeah.
We did a drive-by of the party because we knew how it was going to be.
Yep.
We kind of came in, walked through, and was like, yeah, bye.
No.
So, but no, man, so now we're sitting there, you have the Butler interception. Then we go to Houston and it's the Falcons. And I'll just say this. Here's something I'm going to talk about in all 3 games. When Seattle lost with the Butler interception, literally every Seattle fan was out of that stadium in like 4 minutes when the game was over. It was like they were out. They did not watch any of it. They bailed and all that. Then we go down to Houston and it's New England and Atlanta and we are getting freaking destroyed.
Pummeled.
I remember
so much shit
I remember looking at you at halftime and saying, we just need a big fucking play.
Yep.
And you're like, I mean, even everybody was having the life sucked out of them. And then it happened, man. That freaking strip sack.
Yep.
And I was like, this is it.
And I looked at the score and I'm like, you know what? The numbers, and I started thinking by the fourth quarter, I'm like, we got this.
Do you remember us saying we have to get 2 touchdowns with 2 2-point conversions? And we're convinced it's going to happen. And it did.
Yeah.
And it did.
Yeah.
What a game.
For me, the most memorable part of that game, obviously, thanks to Maddie for making that happen for us, right? But the Atlanta fans, and I get a lot of support in Atlanta, and I have a lot of people down there helping me out, and I'm trying to help them. They just had an incident there not too long ago. But man, those fans sucked. Obnoxious.
They were
never been there, right?
I can remember in the third quarter, and I'm not a little dude.
No.
I can remember the third quarter, people coming up because the 6 of us were in Pat's gear and kind of like giving us the
talking shit.
Yeah. And I'm like, all right, one of 2 things is going to happen.
Yeah.
Either I'm going to end up blasting somebody here or we're going to win.
Yeah.
Thank God
it could have been both. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, and sure enough, man, they tucked tail.
Oh my God.
Like, what do you say after blowing that lead, right?
Yeah. That was, like you said, the 2 most epic Super Bowls ever. When we went to the third one, I'll tell you, the freaking Eagles taught me a lesson.
That's a good team.
Well, you know what they did? Is they never came off the gas.
Yeah.
They played every play in that second half like it was the last play of the game.
Yeah.
It was absolutely amazing to watch how competitive it got. And then I can just remember we got the ball back with like 2 minutes left. Brady's getting the ball. I looked it over at everybody we were with, and I'm like, we fucking got this.
Yeah.
Tom Brady's got the ball. And to be honest with you, on that last play of the game, I think for like 4 seconds after that ball bounced in the end zone and wasn't caught, I could not register that we had lost.
Because we never saw that. For 10 years, every time the Pats had the ball last, they won.
We won.
And you didn't even have to watch. You're like, oh, we got the ball. We're good.
No, do you remember, oh my God, we did the Broncos game. And this is funny because I had Derek Wolf on this podcast. And I remember he almost put Brady out of commission in that game. It was the coldest game in Gillette ever. We were up there, and I can't remember how bad it was, but I do know that at the tailgate party, somebody put a beer on the hood of the car.
It froze.
And it froze to the car, and we couldn't pull it off. And thank God I had 2 Boston SWAT guys in the car, because I drove home from Gillette with a frozen beer on the hood.
Oh, man.
But no, that game, we were getting... Denver was destroying us, much like, the Atlanta game. And then I don't know what the hell happened, but in the end of the third quarter and the fourth quarter, Brady just got that look.
Yeah. And
we came back, and it was Brady Manning. I mean, the two, and we came back and we won that at the end. The typical, we have the ball last. And from that game forward, I was like, this guy, if he has the ball last, we win.
I'm just picturing all the anti-Pats comments coming out, all the haters. Yeah. Bring it. Like, bring it. We'll be back.
Bring it.
No, it was.
I mean, we're fans of the game, though.
Yeah.
I don't think I have stink eye for any team. Hockey and football to me, hockey, football, UFC, I got to have some violence. Are the sports to be at live, right?
Absolutely. Hockey's one of the, you remember being at the Stanley Cup?
Yes.
With me?
I did.
That was one of the first times we hung out.
That was.
And
that was
Vancouver.
Game 6.
Game 6, Vancouver. And then went back to 7.
Yep.
And I don't know if I probably shouldn't tell this story. The BPD got us in. We'll say we didn't have tickets.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah, they were like, meet us at the corner, and the gun truck pulls up. We jump in, and then we walk in.
Yeah, I think we were special DOD advisors. Guys, we had no tickets to Game 6 of the Stanley Cup. Yeah. That's all I'm saying.
And they put us in like the standing section,
right
down in the front row, right in front of the goal where they scored. I think it was like 3 right off the bat.
Do you remember?
First period.
Do you remember? And we sent an individual away to get us a round of beers, and he missed all 3 goals.
I do remember.
They scored.
That was one of your guys.
Yeah, they scored 3 goals in like 4 minutes, and he missed them all.
And then Maddie hits me up. He's like, "Hey, you at the game?" "Yeah, we're at the game." "Where you at?" "Here." He goes, "Turn around," and he's in the box. And he's like, "Oh, you guys are coming up here."
That's
and
right.
Then we ended up in the box with him, and then we ended up. Next thing I know, it's like 1 a.m. We're eating street meat.
Yes,
getting pizza or something in the North End.
Yeah, oh my God.
So many good times. Chicago.
Why
does Maddie's like always involved?
That's right.
In a little bit, not to tell Raina, but
Matt Patricia has a history with us.
He does. So what a good dude.
Yeah.
So Ohio State, Michigan, maybe? I know this year is in Michigan, but maybe next year in Ohio State.
You know, with us, it's dates.
Yeah.
Possible
100%.
schedule. So Matt, if you, and Matt never gets time to do anything.
Yeah, but Matt's probably not watching podcasts. He has social media now, though.
Yeah, he is, and he's blowing it up. Yeah. So the other Stanley Cup I remember was we were in Chicago, and it was Bruins Blackhawks, Game 7 in Chicago, and I made a wager with a Blackhawks fan, and I'm not a bettor, and I just remember the bet was this. And the loser had to show up the next day at work for the big mass briefing. I'm talking the whole unit, all the air guys.
I know who the bet was with.
And and the loser had to wear whatever piece of apparel the winner bought. So he bought a ladies' pink, like V-neck, fucking Blackhawks. So he gave it to me the day before, and I'm like, what am I supposed to do? Put that on my forearm?
Yep.
And he's like, dude, you got to wear it.
Make it work.
So I remember I had it stretched out all night over my hotel room chair to try and even fit in it.
Yeah. Hey, bet's a bet.
And I'm like, oh yeah, a bet's a bet. And so I put it on, and you want to talk about a fucking medium plus.
Oh.
So I put this thing on. I'm like, there's no way in front of like 200 of the baddest dudes on earth I am going to walk. Yeah. So I put like a flannel over it, and we walk in there, and I'm giving the briefing. I am front and center. The good thing is with our discipline, I knew there was no cameras, cell phones with what we were doing.
Yep. Thank God.
Thank fucking God. Because we were I think we're in the Chicago FBI field office. And I said, oh, and by the way, and Danny, I won't mention his last name, is like, Bruno, you didn't settle up. And I peeled the flannel. And I did a 360 in it. And I'm like, is everybody good? Is everybody done throwing up in their mouth?
I'm just going to put this out there. If anybody's watching this and has a picture of that, just post it in the comments below.
Yeah, thanks.
I want to see it. Yeah.